Welcome to another episode of the Meal Prep Monday podcast. I'm your host and founder of Prep Dish, Allison Schaaf. Today, I have a special Thanksgiving episode on gratitude and specifically a gratitude practice that we use in the Schaaf household. Before we get into the episode, a reminder that if you have not tried our time-saving meal prep meal plans, we have a 2-week free trial available for you at prepdish.com/mpm. I am going to read what our subscriber Miranda from Virginia had to say about the meal plans. She says, "Thank you for the opportunity to try your service at no cost for 14 days. It has honestly been a game changer for my family. We are eating healthier meals, spending less money on groceries, and spending less time on meal prep, dishes, etc. I'm so grateful for your service and look forward to being a paid subscriber. Thank you for making this wonderful service available to busy families." And thank you, Miranda, for sharing that with all of us. If you want to try out the same 14-day free trial that Miranda tried, you can go to prepdish.com/mpm and just give it a try for 2 weeks. See how it works for you. If you are on your phone and looking for an easier way to get your hands on one of our meal plans, you can also text the number 33777. So that's the number you'll enter is 33777. And then in the text, you'll put meal prep, all one word, and we'll send you instructions on how to download one free week meal plan and try it out that way. Okay, so on to today's episode. So this is Thanksgiving themed. And although if you're listening to this at a different time, if you're not in the US, I think today's content will still be very relevant. I wanted to, and I apologize if you can hear my roosters in the background. We have 2 roosters, and for whatever reason, they seem to know when I pull out my microphone. The roosters and the cats, everyone knows. So if it's, sometimes the background noise doesn't get picked up, but sometimes it does. So if it does, my apologies. But for today's episode on Thanksgiving and gratitude, I've shared this on a past Thanksgiving episode, but it was either pre-kids or the kids were really, really young. So I wanted to do an update on this gratitude practice that my husband and I started years ago. I mean, I guess it must have been pre-kids because I do remember doing an episode on it before they were talking. And what it is just a way to end the day with some appreciation. So how it started is my husband and I, when we would say, our good nights to each other each night, is we would always share 3 appreciations for the other person. So I would share 3 things I appreciated about him. He would share 3 things he appreciates about me. Now that our kids have gotten older, we have a 4.5-year-old and a 3-year-old. We have now incorporated them into this practice. So every night they know, they kind of have their whole, we actually have it typed up with pictures of their routine for bedtime. And the last one before going to bed, we often do it. Sometimes we'll do it sitting on the couch when we finish reading books. Sometimes we'll be literally laying, they'll be laying down in bed, but they know the appreciations is the last thing we do before we put them down to bed. So what the appreciations look like for them, me and my husband still try and do, 3 for each other individually, but we start with first giving some appreciations about each kid. We are not picky about the number or structure, to be honest. It's just, trying to wrangle little kids. I'm not like, everyone has to do 3 about each person, but I try and at least, recognize something that I appreciate about each kid from that day, 1 or 2 things. And then, also include my husband in my appreciations. We also give them a chance to do it if they want to go first. All of that's just kind of, we have to see what works best in the moment. But often they will. And it's interesting over time, they've gotten a lot better. And of course, they've learned the types of things that we appreciate. So, if my husband says, well, I appreciate, you making a delicious meal tonight, then my 4.5-year-old starts mimicking that. And, but sometimes, as kids, they just come up with the sweetest appreciations and things that you didn't know they've noticed. Sometimes he'll remember something that I did for him or said to him in the morning. And it's just amazing to see what in their minds sticks out as something that they really appreciate that you did for them. And of course, doing the same in return. I think it's really helpful to remind our kids what we appreciate about them and show them the gratitude. And, our 3-year-old's coming along with his appreciations. In the beginning, it was a lot of whatever object was in front of him. So he's appreciated the light and the fan and all the objects in the room. So I've tried to be a little more specific with him of what do you appreciate about your dad, or what do you appreciate about your brother? Was there something your brother did today that you appreciate? So, kind of guiding him to be a little more specific. He also has a lot of appreciations for everyone's bodies. I don't know, but he comes up with some cute ones as well. And, over time, he's definitely kind of figured it out a little more just by mimicking, what he sees going on. So that is the practice that we use. I encourage you to, try that out in your household, figure out if you want to maybe do it in the mornings or, change it up any way you can. Like I said, ours has definitely evolved over time from what it was in the past, but it's still a practice that we very much use every single night in our household, and just really makes a big difference on everyone in the house feeling appreciated and loved. So that is the practice I have for you today for Thanksgiving week. And I also just want to mention how thankful and grateful I am for all of you listening to this podcast, supporting Prep Dish over the years in whatever way that is. I'm just really grateful to have the opportunity to, hop on the mic here and have a little conversation with you every Monday. And, I know so many of you out there have supported us in many ways over the years. So I am very thankful for that and grateful for each and every one of you. That is all I have for today. If you are listening to this in real time and you celebrate Thanksgiving, I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving filled with lots of yummy food and time with your family. I will be back again next Monday with another episode.